Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my WWE NXT review for May 24th, 2017. I'm going to try to finally catch up on all these NXT reviews I missed. I'm going to watch them all today and review them. And how I'm going to structure each one of these reviews is I'm going to watch a match or a segment, and after each match or segment, I'll come on here and talk about it. So I'm going to start off with this one since it's the most recent one after NXT TakeOver Chicago. Kind of wonder how they're going to follow up with that. But yeah, I already know some stuff that's going to be on this show. We have Aleister Black going to be in action. Going to be pretty exciting to see him. We have the debut of the Velveteen Dream. Not excited for that at all. And then we have like a main event match. It's going to be Drew McIntyre versus Wesley Blake. Should be a decent match there. Gonna be nice to see Drew McIntyre. This event is being taped in the same venue that NXT TakeOver Chicago was in, since they do like a couple of shows. Since they film matches there that we don't see actually at NXT TakeOver Chicago. So I'm actually excited for to watch this show. I can't wait to see Drew McIntyre wrestle Aleister Black. I'm always excited to see him. And it's going to be interesting to see what this Velveteen Dream is going to be. So, yeah, this NXT, I guess, should be decent. But we're going to have to wait and see how it is. Okay, so we had the actual show itself. We had Nigel McGuinness, Tom Phillips, and Percy Watson on commentary for this show. And we had the first match. It was Aleister Black versus Curt Hawkins. Pretty much it was a squash. Curt Hawkins really didn't get any offense in. I did like that they kind of brought up what happened, though, because they did have a match a couple of weeks ago on main event when Aleister Black went up and had a match there. So I did like that they brought that up. But yeah, pretty much Aleister Black got in no offense. They did chain wrestle, and Aleister Black hits like a backflip off the middle rope and sits down crisscross applesauce position. Aleister Black hits a pump kick, a pump knee strike, and then he hits a big kick to the face while Curt Hawkins is trapped against against the ropes. Curt Hawkins does get some offense in, but Aleister Black is able to fight back. He hits a springboard crossbody, and then the Black Mass for the win. And afterwards, Aleister Black just sits in his crisscross applesauce position. But I like the progression of Aleister Black. I think he's doing really well, just being really dominant down in NXT, so I think that's great. And his entrance looks even better because they were in the Allstate Arena, since, like I said, NXT, this was taped the night of NXT TakeOver Chicago. So I did like his entrance here. So overall, good solid opening match to make Aleister Black look strong here. Okay, so next, Ember Moon cuts a little promo as the arena is being set up for NXT TakeOver Chicago. This was filmed last Saturday, and she talks about how in Chicago is when she really launched her indie career, and now she's here looking on as an NXT superstar. But she says, but yet she's sitting on the sidelines this time, and she said that she thought she would be able to get in grips to be able to pretty much deal with the fact that she was injured, but then she's sitting here seeing the ring get set up. It makes her realize that it sucks, and then she says that there's a possibility that either Ruby Riott or Nikki Cross are going to take the NXT Women's Championship from Asuka, and she says that a selfish part of her wants Asuka to retain the NXT Women's Championship because she wants to be the one to finally defeat Asuka and deliver the final blow. But then she says, but hey, time heals all wounds. I thought this was a very good promo by Ember Moon. And like I said, it wasn't planned on her getting injured, but in a sense, a good thing about it is it's actually giving her more depth to her character. And it actually really helps launch off the Asuka Ember Moon feud for when that happens, probably at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. So I thought this was a fantastic promo. Okay, so next, Kayla Braxton interviews Asuka, and she asks what's next for Asuka now that she's retained her NXT Women's Championship. And then she says, "Did you see that? Nobody can stand toe-to-toe with me." And then she says that the NXT Women's Championship is hers. Overall, decent promo by Asuka and decent interview. Okay, so next, Kayla Braxton interviews Roderick Strong, and she asks how it felt to be the first person to ever pin Eric Young and overcome the odds of Sandy. And Roderick Strong says that what does he say? Oh, he says that he's overcome the odds his entire life, and you can do whatever you want to him. You can attack him, you can jump him, but when you bring his family into the situation, then it becomes personal. And he said that he was going to stop at nothing tonight to take out Sanity. Tonight's match was one more step towards the NXT Championship. Good promo by Roderick Strong. Okay, so we had the debut of the Velveteen Dream. And he faces Robert Anthony and absolutely squashes him. I think Robert Anthony only got like one right-handed. The Velveteen Dream absolutely murdered him. He pretty much wins with a neck breaker and then an elbow drop from the top rope. And then that was it. Fans booed it. And I don't think it was like booed like it was getting heat. I just don't really think they gave a crap about this. I sure as hell didn't. Yeah, I just don't see what the appeal is with this gimmick. Like, I guess, I obviously I know he's supposed to be gay and stuff, but it's like, what is this really, like, how is this getting any heat or anything? Like, it doesn't really make any sense. I don't see this gimmick lasting very long. I expect him to probably, like, be, like, jobbed out within, like, a couple of months. And we won't really see much of him, so it will probably fade away within a couple of months. But, yeah, overall, didn't really care much, for this match and segment. Okay, so next, Kayla Braxton interviews Pete Dunn, and she asks how he feels about being the new United Kingdom champion, and he says that he had to watch Tyler Bate walk around with the United Kingdom Championship since January, living a dream, but he said that tonight he did exactly what he said what he was going to do, and he took the United Kingdom Championship, and now the United Kingdom Championship is rightfully his. Overall, I thought it was a good promo there, and I can't wait to see what they do with Pete Dunne as the United Kingdom champion. Okay, so next, Kayla Braxton interviews Bobby Roode, and, she talks about how Bobby Roode retained the NXT championship against Hideo Itami, and Bobby Roode's like, "Why do you sound so surprised? I'm just that good of a champion," and Hideo Itami had been signed to NXT for 2 years, but he's been gone so long that I didn't even know he was still here. And he says that he's a good competitor. He earned the opportunity to face him for the NXT Championship, but Bobby Roode was just a much superior athlete than he was, and that's why he was able to walk out NXT Champion. And then he says, "I know what your next question is going to be. You're going to ask me what do I plan to do next." Well, he says that he's going to take some time off, go home and sit by his pool, and then when he wants to come back, he will decide his next challenger for his NXT Championship, because he's going to continue to make his NXT glorious. Overall, I thought it was a great promo by Roode. Okay, so then we had the main event. It was Drew McIntyre versus Wesley Blake. And I do got to say, when Wesley Blake came out, that was like the definition of bland right there. Like, he's just bland as hell. But he's a good wrestler, actually. He actually hit some nice moves in this match. But they start chain wrestling each other at first, and then Wesley Blake starts talking shit to him and says that this is his NXT. Well, he doesn't say that, but this is my world or something like that. And McIntyre just hits like a big boot right to the face, which I thought was actually cool. Drew McIntyre covers him, Blake kicks out, and then McIntyre dominates the first half of the matchup. Wesley Blake hangs up McIntyre arm first on the top rope, and then Blake hits a clothesline on him, and Blake dominates the matchup for a little bit. He gets him into, he goes for a cross arm breaker. McIntyre holds his hands together though, so that way the move won't have any pressure on it. Then McIntyre gets his feet on the ropes. And then McIntyre starts to make his comeback. And he, what does he hit? He hits a wicked body slam. He hits a clothesline off the top rope, covers him. Blake kicks out. Then he goes for the Future Shock DDT. Blake counters. No, hold on, I'm fucking up here. Then he, Blake gets him into a, pains him up on the top rope, gets him into a crossface. McIntyre counters it. Then he goes for the Future Shock DDT. Blake he hits the reverse Alabama slam. Covers him. Blake kicks out. Then he goes for the Future Shock DDT. Blake turns it into a double arm breaker. Covers him. McIntyre kicks out. Then Blake tries to go off the second turnbuckle. Well, the top turnbuckle. McIntyre cuts him off. But Blake counters it. Gets him into the trio roll position, but McIntyre is able to hit a belly-to-belly on him off the top turnbuckle. And he also hit a belly-to-belly earlier in the match, just regular, which was cool. And McIntyre then goes for the Akuzi kick, the single-leg Akuzi kick. But Blake moves out of the way, hits a right hand. McIntyre bounces back off the ropes and hits a headbutt on him, which looked really cool. And then he hits the single leg Akuzi kick for the win. Obviously, it makes sense to put Drew McIntyre over. They're trying to push him. Blake ain't doing shit, so it makes sense for McIntyre to win. I thought the match was good, though. I was actually kind of surprised about how good this match was because Blake is someone that's always been kind of bland. And, you know, I thought he actually showed... I thought he held his own in this match, so I actually thought this match was a good match. Okay, so now I'm going to give you guys my overall thoughts on this show. Overall, I thought this was a decent episode of NXT. You know, obviously, the follow-up episode of NXT isn't... I mean, it's a good show, but, you know, I think that because it's... because they like to recap everything that happened at the NXT specials, the follow-up isn't always the greatest, but I still thought this one was a decent episode. I liked I like the way they made Aleister Black look strong against Curt Hawkins. I liked the interview. I liked Ember Moon's promo on this show. I liked the interviews with Roderick Strong, Pete Dunne, and who else? Bobby Roode, and Asuka. And I liked the main event. I thought that was a good match. The only thing I really didn't care for was the Velveteen Dream debut, but I knew I wasn't going to care for that, so that didn't really, you know, hurt my enjoyment of it. My overall thoughts on the show is I'll probably give it a 6.5 out of 10. It was a decent show. Now I'll give my star ratings for each match. For the Aleister Black Curt Hawkins match, I thought that was a 2-star match. You know, a good little match to make Aleister Black look strong. The Velveteen Dream versus his jobber opponent, I forget his name now. I think it was Anthony Joseph or something. Probably 1 star. Didn't really care much for it. Didn't care much for the character. And then for the main event between Drew McIntyre and Wesley Blake, I'll probably give that match 3 stars. I thought that was a good match. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my CM Brothers and on the Talkinator channel because I plan on uploading some videos on there either today or tomorrow. And please make sure to subscribe to this channel for more NXT reviews and other content.